right, ladies and gentlemen, we are rolling down the road to Attica Raceway Park for tonight's Brad Doty Classic with the World of Outlaws. This is a big show, stiff competition, and it's at one of the toughest tracks in all of Ohio. So this is what Attica Raceway Park looks like. It's been a few years since I ran here. If you've been on the channel for a little bit, you remember back in 2021, I ran a show here during Ohio Speed Week. And let me tell you, Attica, it's a cool racetrack. I feel like it's really difficult, but it races well. It gets right here on the edge. It's bone slick, like you can kind of run any line on the racetrack. You just have to run well and have a good car. And you know, usually guys have their wings back, but man, really excited to be here tonight. It's gonna be a really big show at the Brad Doty Classic. Wouldn't be surprised if we're up above 50 or even 60 cars. So as we got a little closer to race time, Brad Doty actually stopped by. It was great to chat with him before we had to fire the engines. So we just hot lapped and qualified here at Attica. Talk about a field that is going to be as tough as we run all season. 46 cars, and we ended up 16th quick in the first flight. You know, not happy with how we're starting the night, but I just didn't qualify great. But you know, I think a lot of guys are struggling because the racetrack changed so fast. It kind of looked hooked up, and you know, I don't run here. I've never ran back here much. You know, being in Ohio just a little bit earlier in my career, but these tracks, they just slicken off in a hurry. And tonight it did within like 1 or 2 hot lap sessions, and then it started to fall very fast. So we made changes, but looking back, we probably could have even went that extra mile. You know, you just got to be so on top of your race car. And then also, I kind of got caught, I think, running the wrong line and just wasn't able to get going out there. It's easy to get tripped up in a slick spot and just lose, you know, almost lose the handling of your race car. So we're going to start in the back of a heat race. We're going to make a good amount of changes right now, but yeah, just a very difficult racetrack and surface here to start out. So with our qualifying effort, we are now going to be starting 8th in a heat race, and with the World of Outlaw format, they only transfer the top 5, so we got to pass at least 3 cars to make it into tonight's show.
Try that start one more time.
not exactly how we would want to start the night. Kind of a tough heat there. We did pass one car, started 8th, ran 7th. At one point, got a really good start, from the outside. Did a good job there. Just need to kind of pick things up a little faster. I kind of was running right through the middle and needed to move up to the top a little bit. Kind of the opposite from where we should have been in qualifying. We should have been running there more like the line we were in qualifying. It just, they went out and watered it before the heats, and it didn't bring back a lot of grip. It just made the track really dirty, and so a lot of guys were running down low. But as we went more and more and more, if you moved up, you could start to build more momentum. So that's where I gave back one of the spots that I earned, and if I would have been able to do that, I think I could have maybe got to 5th and got that transfer. So we're going to be starting up front in the B. We just got to continue to make some changes. I got to be, better myself and a little more on top of grabbing some wing. I probably could have there in the heat race. You got to remember that top wing's your tool, and it, helps keep the car driving in the back and makes you move forward, when you feel like you don't have grip or you're kind of standing still. So we'll see where we're going to start for the B, and now our next plan is, we got to try to move through that and get into a transfer position. So we're rolling out for the B main right now. Looks like we're going to be starting either on the 4th or the 5th row. So we have some room. We have to move forward. They're going to be transferring the top 4. The racetrack is probably just as slick as qualifying almost. Now it's like worked back in. It's cooling off. The dirt's almost just like powder, or the material. It's just like powder. So it's starting to kind of almost get clean though as it's moved enough, and it's starting to slow down. So we're tightening up our race car and trying to get this thing where it's drivable and we can move forward. So just climbed out of my car after the B main event. I don't know where we finished. I think we were close. Did we finish 7th or 8th?
I think we were 7th.
Might have been 7th. Okay, so I think we finished 7th or right in there, 3-4 spots out of the transfer. I don't know, tonight kind of felt like was full of a lot of just me taking a minute to kind of get going. our race car felt like we, made it better every single time we were on track. I don't necessarily know that we were perfect. You kind of never have a perfect race car. That's why it's the driver's job to kind of make it that way. And once I got rolling and got my rhythm, felt like I started clicking off some better laps, started finding a better line, and ran around the top there at the end. But before that, I kind of just was in position to, I don't know, I just wasn't building momentum fast enough. So it sucks we're not in the show tonight. I just feel like I said, I kind of let my team down in that sense of, I think that the difference was me behind the wheel. I could have got ourselves in the A and then been able to get those valuable laps. I feel like out of all tracks I've went to, Attica can be one of the trickiest just because it's so slick. I mean, in Ohio in general, I talk about the Ohio slick. It's just a little bit different than what you run on, but felt like my crew and we made good adjustments all night, going farther and farther and farther. It's just, I don't know. It's always easy to get to the end of the night, and then if you could redo it right now, you could see how different it could be. But we'll load the car in the trailer and we'll continue our week in Ohio, headed to Eldora. So we're just filling up the rig with water before we head to our next stop, pulling out of Attica Raceway Park. I'll take some responsibility for tonight. Just got to take it on the chin. Yeah.
Turn it off.
Behind the scenes on the road life, rig's got to be full of water. But yeah, just obviously wanted things to go better tonight. Would have liked to just be in the show to have a chance to make those laps, but I felt like as a driver I just was a step behind. You guys know I'm honest with you. I kind of say when I feel like, hey, maybe more the car, maybe more me. I feel like tonight was a little bit more me. If I would have just qualified better too, everything changes. But at this point, there's nothing we can do about it. We just got to hit the road to the next one, and we're on to the Big E. So big thanks to my team and crew. I think it's hard for a crew member on a night like this. They got to stay digging too. We all have to stay together as a team and keep moving along, and you take your good nights, you take your bad nights, and you just pull a tear off, move on to the next one. So that's what we're gonna do. But we're out. Thank you guys so much for watching. Thank you for supporting me, riding along with me for this journey. I'm so blessed to get to do what I get to do and bring you along with us. All right, we're head over to Eldora. Deuces.